One of the primary problems for Judeo-Christian theologians is the disturbing reality that both King David and King Solomon, the most celebrated kings of Judaic history, cannot be found in the historical record. How can this be? How could the wealthy and influential empires suddenly disappear from the archaeological record? Historian Ralph Ellis, author of Jesus, The Last of the Pharaohs, and other intriguing books, says that the lack of evidence may simply be a matter of looking in the wrong place. His research into ancient texts through the science of etymology has led him to some original conclusions. Perhaps the most startling is that the Judaic culture may have stemmed from the Hyksos line of Egyptian pharaohs.
Having already looked at the Hyksos pharaohs of Egypt, having already realized that it was quite possible that the early Israelites were the Hyksos, and a critical piece of that evidence was the Exodus. Now, we all know the Exodus from the biblical story, and we've all been through standard education for Christianity, maybe Sunday school, etc. But never is it told to us that there was an identical Exodus out of Egypt by the Hyksos pharaohs of Egypt. There was a civil war, and so these kings, who are known as shepherds, who were circumcised, who had earrings, who wore curly side locks of hair, of course,
right,
standard Egyptian custom, they had this civil war with the southern Egyptians. At the same time, there was storms, darkness, and possibly plagues. And they were kicked out of Egypt. They started from Pi-Ramesses in northern Egypt, and about 500,000 people went on an exodus to Jerusalem.
Sounding very familiar from my Sunday school classes.
This is not biblical history, this is real history. This
right.
comes from the texts of Egypt, it comes from Manetho and some of the other texts, like the destruction of mankind and other ancient Egyptian texts. And so this Exodus account from history is almost identical to the biblical Exodus. The only thing it differs in is the date, which is about 300 years before the accepted era for the biblical Exodus. However, we have an identical situation.
For more on what Ralph feels is the true location of the Temple of Solomon and much more, click on the link to go to Conscious Media Network for the entire free interview.